Welcome to Loan Officer Success Live, sponsored by Premier Lending, the show where the mortgage industry's top players pull back the curtain. Your host, Dev Dubuque, sits down with industry leaders, top producers, and game-changing mortgage tech innovators, all sharing their unfiltered strategies, bold ideas, and proven secrets for success. Get ready to take notes, think bigger, and play to win, because this is Loan Officer Success Live. All right, guys, we've got him here. Darren Copeland is in the house. You want to talk about thinking bigger, man? We've got a published co-author, the Green Zone Project, mortgage leader. Darren Copeland's in the house, man. What's going on, my brother?
Dude, what's up, Devin? By the way, I love the intro, and dude, you're gonna have to mix that up, man. Like, I want to be in that main intro every time you cut in, every time you have the guest, dude. So let's go.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I was talking to my special weapon, right? I think you met her the other day, Jennifer Rodriguez, and secret weapon, right? And we talked about that. We're like, she's like, Deb, with all the cool people you bring, we're gonna have to switch this up every week. I'm like, well, I'm glad that I have you in my life.
No, she's fantastic, man, and man, super grateful to be here. Always enjoy hanging out and chatting with you, man. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We got a lot of cool stuff going on.
100% you do. And man, you're on tour. You know, I've noticed. I don't know if it's a book tour or just people, you know, they love what you got to say, man. You know, I heard you speak on Scotty's show, MLO Live. And man, I was so impressed. You know, I don't know how we hadn't crossed paths before, because we know a lot of the same people. And I was like, man, I got to get him over here and just share what he shared there. And we talked about some other stuff we're going to cover. But guys, if you're not checking out the MLO Live show, you know, make sure you go over there too and check out Scotty Hudspeth. That's Monday through Thursday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 Central. That's how Darren and I met. He came on there and just spit magic. And and it's not just Darren, man. We've had some just amazing people on there. A lot of people that are in your community, Darren, and you guys are just so willing to share. So let's
absolutely. Well, and you know what the cool thing is, Devin, you know, getting reconnected with Scotty, it just goes back to, you know, one of my big beliefs, which is coaching. And, you know, we kind of wanted, you know, when you and I chatted about doing this, we're like, hey, you know, let's just don't do the normal stuff, right? Like, let's kind of go back, tell the story, you know, how it all got started, because I think a lot of people need to hear that. They need to resonate with that, because, dude, you know, so many people see the good part, right? Which is, all right, 20 years in, the book, the brokerage, like all this stuff.
Traveling the world.
I'm going to try not to cuss on this show, but they don't see all the.
Right, you're in good company.
They don't see all the junk that you have to go through, right?
By the way, I've got a button for that.
So exactly. Dude, I know you have all your magic buttons over there.
Yeah. So we're good.
Exactly. So, but dude, I mean, I take a look back. It's just like everyone that's listening on this call, you know, we all some way, somehow fell into the mortgage business, right? Like we weren't rolling through high school or college and being like, man, I cannot wait to be a mortgage broker or a loan officer. Like, that's what I'm going to do, right? That's my gig, right? So we all have the story of how we fell into it. And here's the Cliff Note version of me. I'll kind of, you know, tell you how I got into it. And then one of the best things I ever did to, you know, propel where we're at right now. So I'm in my late 20s. I'm a middle manager for Lincoln Financial, and we're going around, we're setting up hospitals for the retirement plans, right? And man, I was on the road nonstop. And I don't know if anyone can like relate to this, but I had a boss that wasn't the coolest person ever, right? Like, not even close to being cool. And I remember her saying, hey, DC, you're going to be here this month, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. So I had zero plan. I went out to lunch with one of my buddies. He owned an insurance agency. And Brent was like, dude, you're good with people. You're good with numbers. You need to talk with a friend of mine who owns a small brokerage shop. This is early 2000s, right? Wild, wild west of mortgages, no denials, all that fun stuff. And so I went and talked to this mortgage broker. I'm like, dude, I can do this. I can help people with their numbers. I can help get in the house, refi, all that fun stuff. So that's how I fell in. Is a friend of a friend happened to own a small brokerage here in Kansas City, started doing that. And then, back in, 03, 04, 05, like literally no one got denied, right? You fog a mirror, you're getting a loan. And I remember, Devin, the coolest part, I was a few months in, and, the internet wasn't as prevalent, as far as, the coach, there wasn't so many coaching platforms and all this stuff, but I was starting getting a mailer from, and he won't mind me mentioning his name, but his name was Brian Sachs. In fact, Scotty and I, that's how we met. Scotty and I ended up being in the same mastermind with Brian Sachs back in the day. And he was really big on BC paper, AKA that's called DSCR loans now, by the way. Into coaching, and he was such a great coach. And that's, one of the things, the people are listening, like, dude, you got to get coaching, right? Like, coaching is everything. You have to have accountability. You have to have goals. Like, you have to have like a North Star that you're going after, that you know what your goals are, and to help someone to hold you accountable to that. Okay.
Amen.
And, you'll like this, Devin. So one of the conversations, I'm a couple months into coaching, right? And I joined his mastermind. Dude, it's not cheap, right? This is 20 years ago. It's $1,500 a month. Oh. I didn't have $1,500, but what I did have, I had this little plastic thing with 0% interest, and that's what I put my coaching on, right? Because I believed in myself, right?
Amen.
And I'm like, if I can't get at least one extra loan a month to make this coaching for free, what am I doing? Yeah. Right. And that still holds true today. So like in today's dollars, $1,500 20 years ago, that's like $3,300
it is.
In today's dollar. Like that's a lot. And the biggest favor he ever did, I was setting up my home office, and you would get homework to do, on your coaching.
Right.
And he's like, hey, DC, did you do this? You do that? I'm like, yeah, I just didn't get that done. And he's like, well, why? And I'm like, why? I was drinking beer, playing softball. I don't know why. I don't know. I just didn't get to it. He's like, man, let me tell you something. He's like, I don't need your money. Okay. So if you want to take this seriously, you need to get in, and you have to have an effing plan in place, or you're never going to make it. You're going to fail. Right. And dude, that conversation right there really hit home with me. And I was like, ooh, because, there's a lot in the past, there's a lot of coaching platforms. They just want your money. Right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
They don't give a shit if you make it or not. But this dude did. And
he cared.
Yeah. And he changed my life. And it's no different than like a professional athlete, whether it's Patrick Mahomes over this side, whether it's Patrick Mahomes, having a quarterback
coach. Chiefs.
Right. Like I don't care, basketball, but whatever sport it is, right? Everyone has a coach. And that's why we all need to level up, because in this business, about 10%, we talk about this in the Green Zone Project, the book that Fraser and I did, is, about 10% of the loan officers are going to go out there and actually thrive and kill it. Right.
Yeah, that's right.
The other 90% aren't, because they just they don't have a game plan. It doesn't mean they're bad LOs or people or anything like that. They just don't have a game plan in place. And I think that's prevalent, whether you're in mortgages, real estate, insurance, anything like that, dude. Like, you got to have a plan.
You got to believe in yourself, man. And I love, what you said, Darren, because you were at a place in your life where $1,500 was a tremendous amount of money, $3,300 in today's world. And for a lot of people, they're in that position right now, right? They may be listening into us as we talk, and they're like, man, I just don't have $3,300. But what Darren's saying is, you can't afford not to invest in yourself, because if you want to be the best at what you do, you need somebody to help you dial in, right? And I think the biggest problem that a lot of us have is we don't really have a roadmap. We just try to wing it, and we fail and we fail and we fail. And that works. But I heard that, I think it was Alex Hormozy talking about this the other day, right? Like, we can fail a bunch, but why do we have to when there's other people that have had those same failures and can provide you the blueprint so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that they made to get to that level, right? It's like the cheat codes, right? Like, we all remember Contra when we were kids, right? Up, down, down, left, right, BS, like start, right? And that's what Darren's talking about. When you go out there and you get your coaching, if it's the right coaching group, and I think, again, that's important too, because what you said was, if you're not going to take it serious, Darren, DC, right? Get out of here, right? That's the right coach. That's the coach that you want to be mentored by, the one that doesn't want your money. They want to see you level up, right?
Exactly. And the thing is, you just have to ask yourself, hey, like, what am I doing? Like, what's my drive? What's my why? Right. For me back then, I had no choice, dude. I could not fail. Right. I was single. Failure was not an option. I had bills. So there was no like safety net for me to fail and lax and get back like on that. So, it's all about, you have to be in your why. And, we're not selling coaching here. There's several good groups out there.
There are.
You need to be a part of a community, right? You have to be a part of the community. And the one thing is, this is not, hey, let's get on Devin's show and pitch the Green Zone Project book. But what I can tell you is, don't discount it, because you can go on Amazon and you can get it. I think it's $9 or $10 or whatever it is. But basically what I've done is I've taken my 20 years of experience and everything that I've learned from the different coaching groups and the different mentors I've had. And I just put it all in there, man. Like, I'm sharing everything they do. It all works, right? You just have to put a plan together. And basically what that is, might help if I put my phone on silent. But the biggest thing is,
we're live, by the way, guys. If you didn't know, if you're calling Darren, you can't call DC right now. Okay. Dude, he's on my time.
Someone's calling for a book right now, but no, just jokes. But it's all about, we talk about living in your green zone. And if you guys are football fans, when a football team is inside the 20, they're in the red zone, right? Like, they have a whole channel on the NFL Network called the Red Zone. And every time they're in the 20-yard line, they're switching over because they're getting ready to score. So I call it the green zone, because you're getting ready to score a touchdown. You're really, you're getting ready to go make some money. So your green zone is your money-making time. All right. For those who haven't heard this yet. So the green zone is your money-making time, Monday through Friday, at least 2 hours every single morning. Okay. Because the average LO in this industry spends about 1 hour of marketing every single week. Okay. Only because we're so reactionary, right? You start off, you're in your email, you get some bad news on conditions or whatever. Now you're playing defense all day, right? And you never get around to doing the money-making activities. So everyone, if you read this book or just listen to the podcast and the road tours, like Devin said, that I've been on, is you just need to come up with your own plan, right? This gives you a plan of what I've done over the years to get us to a certain point, which has been very amazing. We're super grateful for that. But use that and come up with your own plan. We give you examples. We tell you exactly what to do, but customize what you want to do. Do stuff that you like to do, right? But you need to go out there and you need to be, hanging with the people that can refer you money, right? So it's all about building new relationships, maintaining the ones you have, and always looking for excuses to hook up with people.
I love that, man. I love that. Well, and I love that you talked about, the green zone, red zone. We literally, we were just on the MLO live show this morning, and we were talking to the audience about that, going out and getting a chest timer and setting it on your desk and clocking the amount of time that you're actually spending on the activity that's going to bring in your results, right?
Yep.
And your green time, that's when you're out there doing sales activity. Your red time's anything else. And we may need to do anything else, right? Like, those are activities that have to happen. But depending on where you are in your stage, in the beginning, you got to do it yourself, right?
Right.
But over time, and DC, I know you're a strong advocate of this. You start to bring on people that are better at those activities, that love to do them, right? Like, this is their dream job, is to do this stuff that we absolutely hate to do. And you start helping them take over those activities for you, so that you can focus on more of that green time activity that's really going to bring in, the money.
Exactly. That's a great point, Deb. So, like, you get to a point in your career where you start becoming a master delegator, right? There's so many things to do, right? There's so many shiny objects, the social medias, videos, your YouTube channel. I mean, just AI, like, all this stuff is coming at you nonstop, and it's coming faster and faster and faster. So you have to learn how. It's kind of like you hear football players, like, in their second year in the NFL, they talk about how they notice the game slows down for them, right? They can actually see things better. They can see routes open. They can just see the game in a different speed. And that's where we need to be at, because a lot of LOs are just going nonstop and the game's just too fast for them, right? So you guys have to focus on, like, 2 or 3 things that are super, super important to you and that you're good at. And you need to find a way to delegate that out, whether it's a loan officer assistant, an awesome processor, a marketing person, like, whatever that is. And as you continue to build, I always measure things of, hey, how can I make this free? So, if I bring on another LOA, can I close at least 1 more unit a month to cover that cost? Absolutely. Okay. If I have a marketing person and I bring them on, can I close at least another unit a month to cover them? Yes. Right. So it's about reinvesting in yourself and making those positions basically free, right? Because those should be profit centers for you.
That's right.
And don't be afraid to invest in yourself, because so many people out here, they try to go cheap, or they're just afraid of the money. Like, dude, you have to believe in yourself. And the more that you surround yourself with great people, dude, like there's no limits at all. And that's where it really starts to get fun.
Well, I want to talk about two things there. One of those is surrounding yourself with great people. And I'm going to give a shout out to Neil Dingra. I know you're heading out to the Ford Mastermind. Actually, you're doing a little something different. This is more of a private group. Yep. Just I think tomorrow. But I was on stage at the Mastermind earlier this year, just literally a couple of weeks ago. And, he talked about one of the biggest moves that he made in his life, which was going out, and I think it was maybe $100,000 that he had to invest to be in this coaching program. And he had to almost slap himself across the face and go, man, is this really worth it? Right. But then what he showed was the end result. And this was, I think it was 5 years later, and the millions of dollars that he's made by investing the $100,000 in himself. And like, in your case, Darren, you're saying, hey, you don't have to invest in coaching program, but man, I've got this great book, The Green Zone Project, maybe start here. Right. That's $9. That's not $100,000, right? So sometimes we've got to write big checks to make big moves, but there's another part of that. And I think this is really important to touch on, is none of that matters if you don't take action, right? You can't just go out there and listen to this stuff, because, at the end of the day, it's great if you're jumping on these Zooms and you're listening to these folks that are talking. You got to take that and put it to action. And that's, I think, one of the most important things that a lot of people, that's where they stop. They get it, they listen, they don't take action, they go, that doesn't work, right? So let's give an actual item, right? So you go way back to, you first get started, you go out, you start to get coaching, your coach slaps you across the face, and he's like, DC, you stop spending the money if you're not going to actually do the work. What was the work that needed to be done to get to that first level, right? The first level, you're like, ooh, this paid off, like this was worth it.
Yeah, that's a great question. It literally was like, hey, what's your 90-day plan? Right. It's not like going deep and having to write a 3 or 5 year, goal plan. It's like, hey, what are the 3 things you're going to do over the next 90 days to implement? Right. And there's 2 parts of that. And you just alluded to that, Devin, is 1, having a plan. And then number 2, you have to execute that. Right. So way back in the day, I had not clearly stated what my 90-day plan was. I had an idea like, oh, hey, I want to make, back then 10 grand a month, whatever it was. But I didn't, I just threw that out there. I didn't have a plan of like, all right, I need to have 12 face-to-faces every single week. I need to call X amount of current realtors today. I need to call X amount of people who are, pre-approved out there looking. Because back then I was doing all that stuff. Now you get to the point where you have assistants that are following up on your system, because there's no way that you can follow up on that stuff. Right. So that was such a huge moment for me. And you're right. You just slapped me across the face and said, dude, like, do you want to do this business or not? And I'm like, yeah, number one, the money's amazing and I'm pretty good at it. So that helped me, to do that. The thing is, and I'll have to get my partner in crime, that did the book with me, Frazier, on this, is like, dude, I think the book's too cheap. Right. I think there's also, I think that there's another thing is like, I'll take a look at this book and, I might do it, but dude, I guarantee if I charge like $2,000 for that book, someone would be like, hey, you know what? I really need to read this and I really need to come up with my own game plan. Yeah. Right. So I think, that's why, whether it's free books or free coaching, people don't take it seriously. You gotta have some skin in the game, right? To take it seriously.
It's got to hurt enough. It's got to hurt enough, right? Like writing that check has to hurt just a little bit, right? Enough to where you go, man, I'm not going to spend this money if I'm not going to actually go out and take the action. Let me tell you something. I had to write one of those checks recently, right? So I went to the Ford Mastermind, and this isn't the first time. I've been coached with a lot of different groups, right? And I went out to the Ford Mastermind, and I sat in, and Neil was up on stage talking about, hey, if you'd love to join our mastermind, learn what we've done, take advantage of the $100,000 that I spent multiple times over to invest in myself and pour that back into you. You just got to write this simple check for, I don't know what it was, $13,000, $18,000, something crazy, right?
It was 16.5.
Yeah, my man, 16.5, right? And invest in yourself, right? Invest in yourself. So did that check hurt to write? There's absolutely no question. But Darren, you're on my show right now. Am I taking action?
Yeah. All day long, man. You're all over it. You're all over. And it's just, it's just like, the events that you go to, right? Neil's a great one. A couple shout out. I mean, like Frazier, Amir Syed. There's so many like great people out there that, you know, you got to be careful of coaching groups. You know, some coaching groups are really recruiting mechanisms that are masters coaching, right? You want to go to a true coaching platform, right? So you just have to go. But dude, the networking and all the friends that you make, I mean, all the friends I've made over the last 20 years is invaluable, man. Like I still see benefits of that every single week. I mean, the reason why Devin, you and I are sitting here is because, you know, I joined it's been 12 or 13 years ago. I joined a mastermind back then in Florida. And that's how, you know, different paths cross and, you know, and here we are. So you just never know, man. So, you know, like I always tell my 17-year-old son is always be cool and make sure that you're making friends at all times, because you never know when that's going to come around. And you see that on the mortgage side, right? You know, I say this all the time for you guys that hear me speak and on different podcasts, the loan officer that has the most friends wins, right? It's that simple, right? Be a friend, make sure you give, right? You know, we're on a big recruiting thing right now, but it's not like a huge, you know, recruiting, you know, hey, blah, blah, blah. It's about us. No, hey, it's about you. Oh, and by the way, here over the next weeks, we're going to give you 8 different strategies to help build your business, whether you end up ever coming with us or not, right? You just have to, get to that point where you're just giving.
That's right.
And, you know, some people will resonate with that because, dude, like it's so funny. Like it was back in 2017 and there was a coaching event here in Kansas City. And my mentor at the time, he's like, hey, man, we're going to have 100 LOs from different companies from the Kansas City area. We're going to have an event there. I want you to get on stage. I want you to tell all your secrets. And I'm like, dude, are you effing crazy? I'm like, I'm not going to get up in front of 100 LOs, most of them from the Kansas City area, and tell them what I do. He's like, no. He's like, that's not the point. He's like, you get up there, you're going to get them really excited, and they're going to really look at you. But, dude, maybe 1 out of 100 might actually do something.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's no different than anything else. So, you know, one of the biggest things that I want, you know, and thanks for everyone that's been listening this long is, man, like just being that 10% that's going to have a plan.
That's right.
Right. Being that 10%. I mean, we're coming out the last 2 or 3 years, you know, people have been like, oh my gosh, it's been so tough and blah, blah, blah. Dude, no, it's been like, we built one of the fastest growing mortgages in the last 3 years, right? It's all about your mindset, right? There's been more pickup on a lot of LOs getting out of the business. I mean, what an opportunity for you to go out there and be next up in line when another LO goes out of business and you can start taking market share from different realtors. I mean, it's been literally in my 20 years, it's probably one of the biggest opportunities to pick up market share that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're down to 30%, right? There's 30% of originators that are left in the industry, most of which are very good at what they do, right? We've narrowed it down to the majority of them are doing good things, right? But then you still have that top 5% in the pyramid that are out there doing something extraordinary. And one of the extraordinary things that DC is talking about is leading with an abundance mindset, right? Like giving back to the communities, giving back to the people that need help, giving back to his agents, right? By teaching and helping people level up. And that kind of leads me to one of the questions that I have was, you know, what was, you know, the story behind getting to the point where you wanted to write the book with Jason, right? Like, where did that come from? You guys said, man, we're going to do this. Why? What was the why on that?
The why is because, you know, I was coaching my own team and I was just taking a lot of things that I had learned over the years. And I took a step back. I'm like, okay, what got us to this point and what do I do on a daily basis? Because once you get in habits, you don't really think about it until you take a step back and be like, hey, what am I actually doing here? Right. Yeah. So to keep it very simple, I've always been really good on a morning routine. So morning routine, you know, no money, you know, the business, everything is on the side. But the morning routine, I'm getting up at 5:15, right? I'm drinking my protein shake. I'm going either to Orange Theory to work out for an hour or I have a personal trainer because just like if I don't pay for it, I ain't doing it. Right. Right. There's no way. Like
you never in with that.
Dude, 2 things. Number one, I never wake up at 5:15 and go, oh my God, I cannot wait to work out. And I never wake up in the morning and go, God, I cannot wait to shoot like 10 videos today. That's going to be so awesome. right? It doesn't happen, right? But you have to do it, right? Because you feel better, personally. So the morning routine, I just have dialed in. Then I come home, I do my readings, shower up in the office, and then then I get into my green zone. But basically back then it was a time block that my original mentor Brian, he's like, hey man, just imagine this, DC. He's like, if you have every single morning, you have $1 million application that's coming in, they want to work with you, and you just have to block everything because you have to take that application and do it. What are you going to do? Yeah, you're turning off everything, you're blocking everything off, and you're focusing on doing that. So that's how I really started getting into that. And I was like, man, and then like years were going by, and I was just like every 2 hours, every single morning, like whether I'm doing social media or calling my friends who are real estate agents and just all this stuff, gratitude videos. We can talk about that in a little bit, but just laser focus, not checking my email in the mornings, right? Turning off my phone to outside calls, right? And just being completely dialed in and nothing interrupting my day. And that right there, you do that for 30, 60, 90 days, you can't fail.
Okay, that's great, Darren. It sounds great in theory, right? I'm going to turn off my phone for 2 hours. I'm not going to check my emails, right? But what happens to all those angry customers and agents that I'm not calling back?
Well, hopefully if you're doing things right, you don't have a lot of angry customers. But if you do enough business, you are going to have one or two crazies, right? Let's be honest. They're out there. That's why it's so critical. Again, that's the next level of investing in yourself, is you have to have your own dedicated loan officer assistant, right? So your loan officer assistant, LP1, LP2, whatever you want to call it, you got to have someone that takes that stuff off your plate, where if they see an app come in online, they run it, they run the AUS findings, they have communication, they get the docs, they do all that stuff, right? All the LO stuff. Like I tell people all the time, I absolutely love the loan business. Love it. It's amazing.
Same here.
But I don't really like loans so much. All right. Does that make sense? I guarantee a lot of people are out there shaking their head. Like loans are a pain in the ass, right? Because, you have to chase docs, you have to deal with the underwriters, blah, blah, blah. But man, when you have a good team behind you, there's a lot of people that love dealing with that stuff, and they know the guidelines frontwards and backwards.
They do.
Much better than I do.
Job. It's their dream job. Like they love it.
They love it. When I tell people all the time, if someone was sitting here with a gun to my head and said, hey, I need you to run DU findings right now, I'd be like, pull the trigger, dude, because I have no idea how to run that stuff. But you know what I know? I know how to make relationships. I know how to make people feel good that we have their back. And I know how to make them feel good that they're going to get an amazing deal dealing with Darren Copeland at Summit Lending, right? And that right there is what people want, right? They want someone who's like, I got you. We're going to get you in this house. I'm going to hook you up with an amazing deal because it's my job to build out as many future Raving fans and 5-star Google reviews. And you're my next one. And then, oh, by the way, anyone that that's going to buy a house or refinance in the next 12 months, that's how we make a living. Like you're my new best friend. And I say that line over and over and over again because people just want to get taken care of. And then like, oh, by the way, my assistant CJ, she's going to be in touch with you and she's going to get all the docs you need, answer any other questions you might have. And we're going to get this party started for you.
So if you guys heard that, right, that's not rehearsed. It's just, he's done it so many times. He said it so many times. It just pours out of his mouth. So if you're listening in and you need a strategy like that, go back and replay that a few times, right? Like go back and play that a few times, jot it down, and then come up with your own version, right? Because we always say, hey, take things that are working for others, but then make it your own, right? Chris Doe talked about that, about branding at the Ford Mastermind. Take somebody else's stuff, change it by 3% and own it. And when you start talking to your agents and your business partners and your borrowers like this, they build confidence in you. It builds a level of confidence because you can't say that and BS your way through it. Either you're doing it or you're not doing it. And DC, I know you're doing it. Now I want to touch on one more thing. And the reason I hit you with that kind of hard question of like, but I don't have time, right? I can't put my phone on silent. What if I'm only closing 1 to 2 transactions? I'm trying to get up to that next level. What would you say to that person?
All right. So you're framing
the other person, right?
So you're framing the question if someone's closing 1 deal a month, are they saying they don't have enough time to get into the green zone?
I mean, I hate to say it because when you say it out loud, you kind of want to cringe a little bit and slap yourself, right? But I do hear it, right? I do hear it. Like, well, I don't have time to take 2 hours out to do that because I've got to answer this and get back to this person. I got to get back to the weeds of the clients that I already have. So help me answer that one.
So there's a really great chapter in this amazing book that we're talking about, the Green Zone Project. All right. It's called the Struggle Bunny Syndrome. Okay. And it doesn't mean you're a struggle bunny, but maybe at that snapshot in time, maybe you're having struggle bunny thoughts, right? And you just really have to watch your mindset, you guys. You know, how should I say this politically correct? Okay.
Don't say it the way it needs to be said.
Okay. Don't hang out with broke people. Okay. Number one, right? Because they're just going to bring you down, and it's going to be one of those old adages where there's a bunch of crabs in a bucket and you have one crab that's crawling out and all the crabs are trying to pull its leg to bring it back down into its misery, right? So hang out with people that are successful in the business, and don't let those old tapes in your head determine what your true thoughts of reality are. Like, you have to make your own reality. Like, there's enough people out there that are just, woe is me, and I'm just going to wait for a refi boom. And man, when rates get back in the 4 or 5s, I'm going to kill it. Dude, screw that, right? Do it now. Do it right now, because there's so many people that want to buy houses. I can't tell you like how many DSCR loans we're doing. Heck, we're even in a spot now, dude, where we're doing some hard money at 12%, and people are banging us for it, right? So there's always a need out there. So to really come back and answer that question, Devin, is be really, really careful who you hang out with, and make sure you're not, your mindset, what you're putting in your head, right? Social medias, don't be going into the social medias and being a keyboard warrior, and someone says something negative about an investor or whatever, and you're just like, yeah, what, dude, no, that doesn't serve you, right? And then also at night, don't go home and watch the news. I don't care what side of the fence you are. Just be a good human being. You just have to be so careful, dude, like what you put in your head, and you be mindful. So I'm always reading, whether it's my devotions or I'm reading a really good book that's going to improve me, or at night, if I just want to chill, dude, like Major League Baseball Network is my friend, right? Yeah. And I mute the commercials, because the commercials are total shit too, right? So dude, you have to have on your body armor and just be so careful, because there's a lot of negativity out there, and you got to figure out what your why is. Believe in yourself. There's so many awesome tools, and this is not a plug, guys. Like we're not getting wealthy on. Basically, the $9 covers the production of the book over here, right? This is not. It's not Copeland's retirement plan, right? It's literally, I'm at a point where I want to share. Yeah, I just want to share what works. Everything in there works. You just have to go there and follow up. And I just want to help people have a really cool life.
I love that, man. Well, I'm going to touch on a couple of things you said there, man. So, going back about consuming information, make sure that when you're consuming information, you're consuming it from somebody that's qualified to give you the answers, right? Look at what they're doing. Look at where they are in their life. Look at what they've accomplished. And if they're on the level that you want to be at, that's probably a safe place to consume information. Okay. The other thing is, and I think this is hard for a lot of people, myself included, it took me a long time to figure this out. We sometimes have to reprogram our brain from what we were taught growing up, right? Because if I live by the same method that my parents taught me, I'd be living in a 900 square foot house built back in the 1930s that was falling apart, right? And at the end of the day, at one point in time in my life, it clicked that I had to make some changes personally, and I had to get rid of some of these beliefs that I'd had, right? These self-limiting beliefs, to allow myself to level up to that next level. And then the last part of that is never stop educating yourself, right? DC, I know you're in a lot of masterminds. You're consistently learning. You talked about reading your devotions. I know you're educating yourself by reading other books. There's podcasts out there just like this one, where you can go out and learn from some of the people that are out there in the industry doing big things. If you want to know something, the information is there. Just stay really focused on where you're consuming it. If you want a good one, this is a good one, right? Green Zone Project. And this was co-authored Darren Copeland and Jason Frazier. These guys are out there doing some amazing things in the industry, and that's why I wanted to bring you over to the show. As much as I would love to keep you here all day, man, I know you've got things to do and you got places to go. We know you're on your way out of town.
Yeah.
What's a good message we can leave our viewers with today to help them feel inspired and give them a little bit of direction?
Dude, so like, man, I really feel like I could sit here for the next 7 or 8 hours and talk about this stuff. Like, you guys, we have just barely scratched the surface. So 2 quick things is, one, God love all of our families and friends back in the past, but they only know what they know, right? So, growing up, if I really wanted to make my grandparents super, super proud, and this is not a knock against Ford, okay? I love Ford. I got some Mustangs, right? But in their eyes, for their grandson hitting it big would have been working on the line for 30 or 40 years at the local Clay Como plant here in Kansas City that makes the F-150 truck. Okay. That would have been like the ultimate, like, man, Darren, we're so proud of you. You made it. Right. And man, I hope they're up there looking down on me right now going, holy shit, we had no idea. Right. So, you just have to be so careful who you listen to. Right. Always look for mentors who have been there, done that. Who have been successful. All of us have been on paths where we've been successful, had something happen, you get back. But you want to work with successful people. But the biggest thing, and I know, Devin, you heard me tell people this all the time. The one big takeaway that I love and that works just immensely, and it's so powerful, is the gratitude videos. Yeah. Because you guys, I don't care if it's a real estate agent or a past client, friends, family, whatever it is, it doesn't always have to be about business. But if you don't let the people around you who are your biggest cheerleaders, if you don't let them know how grateful you are for them to be a friend, a mentor, a business associate, or whatever, dude, it's your job to let them know. You might think they know, right? But I'm just telling you, there's nothing like sending a 30 or 45-second, just quick video on your phone, selfie, stop, text it to them. And you do 5 of those a day, Monday through Friday. Man, the numbers just speak for themselves. You do like 100 a month. I have a whole tracker. I talk about it in the book. But if you want something that's really, really cool, that's going to instantly change the way you see things and change you inside, do the gratitude videos for 30, 60, 90 days. And not only will it help change you personally and put you in a better mindset, but you're going to make a lot more Raving fans out there as well that's going to want to help you out.
Dude, that's so good, Darren. And what's funny is the last time that we talked on the MLO, I turned around literally a few minutes afterwards. I sent you a gratitude video, right? How'd that make you feel, man? Did it make you feel good?
It was epic. I literally still have it on my phone, bro. Right? Because, it's a crazy thing. It's kind of like all the thousands of homes I've financed over my career in my career is I've probably seen maybe 10 of them in person. Right? Yeah. And it's just like this, you coach different things or whatever, dude, but nothing makes me more happy when I tell people, hey, you need to do this, do that. And then they send me a gratitude video. Dude, that's pretty epic, dude. That's amazing. And
I got to tell you, man, I've taken that page because I do a lot of the birthday videos too. Like I'll go onto Facebook and I'll do a birthday video, not just a little post like everybody else does. And those are great, right? But at the end of the day, they're not personalized. I'll do a video and I'll send that out to the people out there and wish them a happy birthday face to face because I think they deserve it and they need to feel special. But what Darren's talking about is feel special every day, not just on their birthday. When you send somebody a video out of the blue and just let them know how you feel about them. And I did it again this morning with a lot of the people on our team. I did a voice one. It wasn't a video in this one, but we've got a new feature in our virtual office. And I did a voice one to like 4 or 5 different people. And the responses were just amazing. And you know what, man? I felt better. And, this is how you build, like DC said, man, raving fans, like people that want to do business with you. And this isn't just your agents and your financial planners, anybody in your life that you could think of that's in your phone. Send them a gratitude video, just, 5 a day. And what does that add up to? I mean, that's over 1,500 videos a year of you just telling people thank you and that you're awesome.
Exactly. And you know what the thing is, you hit the nail on the head, Devin, is if you start your green time with the gratitude videos, it actually does a lot for you because it makes you feel good, right? Always look for opportunities to lift others up, right? Be the light, you guys. There's so much negative press, social media, blah out there. But when you're the light, dude, you're completely separating yourselves from everyone else, because no one else is doing this, right? You hear other people talk about, hey, you should do this, do that, but like actually do it, right? If you start if you start your 2 hours of with the gratitude calls in your green zone, dude, you're just clicking, dude. You're just clicking and you're kicking ass. And next thing you know, you're like, wow, I just really had an amazing day in a couple hours. And then you let the rest of the day come to you. So one thing, because I know we're getting close, but one thing that I just want to leave you guys with is always, always, always be on the lookout to make someone's day, right? Right. Always be on, because there's opportunities everywhere, you guys. You just have to look for them, right? There's opportunities everywhere, no matter what the market's doing. Just continue to separate yourself as being a professional and someone who actually gives a shit, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And you're good, man. You're good.
Well, I want to piggyback on that. You know, my good buddy and yours too, Scotty Hudspeth, and I don't know where he got this, but it doesn't matter to me. It came from Scotty, and that's leave people better than you found them. Yep. Right? If you live by that mentality that I'm going to leave somebody better than I don't care if it's a store clerk, right? You know, the person that's getting your coffee when you roll up to the Starbucks, or maybe hopefully a better coffee place in the morning. Sorry, Starbucks, your coffee's not that great. You know, whoever it is, right? Just somebody that you bump into, a complete stranger. If you leave them better than where you found them, you leave a lasting impression. You make them feel better. You feel great as a person inside. And this is just another part of your process to becoming the best version of who you can be. So Darren Copeland, DC, my man, I appreciate you stopping in today. And guys, if you want to find Darren's book, The Green Zone, it's Green Zone Project, the no BS, I'm going to say no bullshit playbook for loan officers, is on Amazon. Easy to find. I found it with a click of a button, $9. And man, just dive in and start your journey. And just man, and then send this guy, go over to his Facebook page and subscribe to him. Send him a comment about what you loved about the book. This guy will respond back. He's very quick to do so. And man, we just appreciate you guys coming in every single week to meet with guys like Darren Copeland, who's out there just doing amazing things for our industry. So brother, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for being the amazing person you are. And guys, thank you for taking the time to listen to us. We appreciate you so very much. So I think that's it. Are we good?
That's good, man. Hey, thanks again, brother. This was a lot of fun. We should do this again.
We'll have to do it again. Guys, if you want to see DC and I go live again, just throw it in the comments. And man, we'll bring your wish. We'll make that happen. So thanks, guys. Until the next time, we will. You've been watching Loan Officer Success Live, where real strategies meet real success. Don't forget to subscribe now and share it with your teammates, and keep leveling up, because your next breakthrough starts here. If this fired you up, don't just watch success, go out there and build it.